Sonic the Hedgehog is my favorite franchise of all time. You're probably going to hear that like 7 other times in this video, but anyway, I've made a lot of content surrounding the Blue Blur, 30 minutes worth in fact. Because I have so many Sonic videos, I figured why not do a compilation. I'm CJ, I talk, you should subscribe so I can get to 250, and let's get to the comp.
Open your heart and you will say.
Silver has recently become more and more appreciated by Sonic fans alike, but have you ever wondered where he came from? Silver first appeared in the objectively worst Sonic game of all time, gameplay-wise, Sonic 06. In that game, he is tricked by Mephiles, one of my favorite Sonic villains, and is led on to believe that Sonic is the Iblis Trigger. Basically, Silver believes Sonic destroyed the future. The idea for his character came after Sega canceled a game that Sonic team was working on, Fifth Phantom Saga. In that game, there was supposed to be a character with psychic abilities, which Sonic team carried over to Sonic 06. After Sonic 06 nearly killed the franchise, Silver took a backseat and is currently just another friend of Sonic with no character. Like most of the cast. I really like Silver because his character is pretty interesting. He's naive, but he cares for others. I really hope Sega explores him more and maybe does a year of Silver, just like they did for Shadow last year. The writing has been getting better recently, video game wise, so maybe he could at least be a playable character again. Cream has been a fan favorite Sonic character for years, but have you ever wondered where she came from? Cream the Rabbit first appeared in 2002's Sonic Advance 2, where she has to save her mom Vanilla from this fat ass. Cream was originally developed to be many different animals, including a squirrel, a cat, and a red panda.
You can't keep getting away with it! You can't keep getting away with it!
Despite appearing in Advance first, Cream was actually developed for Sonic Heroes, but was thrown into Advance so that players would be just a little bit more familiar with her. Now, if you knew anything about Cream before watching this video, you would know that she always had their trusted child Buddy Cheese. He was introduced for the simple reason that they just wanted her to have a little companion, and I'm here for it. Cream is also one of the youngest characters in the cast, being 6 years old, along with Charmy. After her appearances in Advance 2 and Heroes, she appeared in some other games, such as Sonic Advance 3, What a Shocker, Shadow the Hedgehog, Sonic Rush, Sonic Generations, some racing games, Free Riders, and she was in Sonic X. Now, just like everyone who isn't Sonic, Tails, Knuckles, Amy, Shadow, and Eggman, Cream's appearances are pretty uncommon nowadays, but things are starting to look up for our favorite rabbit, recently appearing in Sonic Dream Team, Sonic Blitz, and Sonic Races Crossworlds. I know 2 of those are mobile games, including a stupid-ass card game, and the other one is a console game with fucking SpongeBob SquarePants. But hey, one can hope that she'll eventually appear in a mainline game again. What are the other ways of DLC for Sonic Racing Crossworlds gonna be? Now, if you've been living under a rock, the next Sonic Racing game is going to release in exactly 2 months, and while the base game looks absolutely amazing, the DLC is certainly a topic of conversation. You see, the game is going to have 6 waves of DLC throughout its lifespan, which will include 15 racers to play as. Where it really gets crazy is the character selection, however, with Steve from Minecraft, Alex from Minecraft, Creeper from Minecraft, SpongeBob SquarePants, and Patrick Star, all in a Sonic game, which is absolutely crazy to me. While we don't know the other racers, we do know that packs 3 and 4 will be Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles and Avatar related. Now, it's pretty obvious that Leo, Donnie, Mikey, and Raph are going to make it into the game with the Party Wagon, and I'm 99% sure that the Avatar characters will be Aang and Korra. That leaves 2 more packs and 4 more racers, and I think I know what those packs are going to be. Starting with Pack 5, Sonic did a crossover with DC earlier this year. And since the theme of the DLC are all these non-Sonic characters, I think Batman and Superman would be perfect as a DLC pack. Now, when it comes to Pack 6, that was tricky to think about. But I want you to read this image right here. That's all I have to say. Have Sonic and the TMNT ever collabed? If you're new to my channel, my favorite franchise of all time is Sonic the Hedgehog. But when I was younger, TMNT actually took that spot for me. What can I say? The 2012 show was nothing but peak. Having a deep appreciation for both of these franchises, I decided to look around on the internet and find out if they've ever crossed over. The answer? Kinda? When Archie was printing both TMNT adventures and their old Sonic comic run, they made short little cameos in the background of each other's stories. Besides that, Leo, Donnie, Mikey, and Raph are all gonna appear in Sonic Racing Crossworlds. All of this got me thinking, what if the 2 actually collabed in a comic book? This wouldn't be that much of a stretch, given all the history I just stated between them, and the fact that they both have comics published by IDW. Knowing all of this, I thought of a little idea of what this crossover would look like. I imagine Sonic, Tails, Knuckles, Amy, Shadow, and either Silver or Rouge ending up in the Turtles dimension. Eggman could team up with Baxter Stockman and mutate some of the Sonic cast. Find a way to incorporate Shredder, Bebop, and Rocksteady, and this collab would be absolutely awesome. If you actively keep up with my channel, you will know that I am a huge fan of Sonic the Hedgehog. Take a look at my room, unemployment final boss over here. Why do I need all these Lego sets? I keep up with basically every little thing within this franchise, and one of the things I happen to be the most familiar with is the merch. From plushies to action figures to a literal Chia pet, I know it all. But the most interesting thing is always the Master Toy Partners. If you're confused on what this is, a Master Toy Partner is the main company who produces Sonic figures and plushies. Sure, Lego and GE make merch based off of the series, but if you walk into your average Target, you're always going to see 5 Jack-specific Sonics from Wave 13. I'm CJ, I talk, and today, I'm going to be diving into the weird world of Sonic action figures. The first company to ever make a real line of Sonic figures was Resource, and while the designs are certainly a product of its time, these figures are undeniably super accurate to the old adventure artwork. The first wave was released in 1999 and consisted of Sonic, Tails, and Knuckles. Each of these figures came with a stand, a rod, and a ring, which aren't the most interesting accessories, but are cool to have, I guess. These figures are very stylized, and while they look goofy for the modern age of figures, they looked pretty cool for their time. There was also this 12-inch Sonic, which is just a small one on steroids. Literally just the same sculpt, but souped up. Nowadays, we have 19 inches of Venom, but back in the day, they were all fiending for 12 inches of Sonic.
Oh my god, bro. What the
hell? I didn't mean it like that. I'm not gay for you. Wave 2 released in 2000 and include Skiing Sonic, Amy, Gamma, and Big. It does kinda suck to have another Sonic in here over someone like Eggman or Chaos, but at least it's not the same exact sculpt 2 waves later, like everyone doesn't have this figure. Amy was included with her Pico hammer, Big had his fishing rod, and Gamma didn't really have a notable accessory, but to this day is the only figure we have of the Chad. Now, Resource ended up going down in 2001, so Sega gave the rights to. From now on, I'm not going to be diving into every little release since all of the next 4 toy partners did a lot of merch, but I am going to break down the important stuff. Toy-Island's first wave was based off of Sonic Adventure for some reason, even though Sonic Adventure 2 was coming out in the same year, but then again, it's probably good we didn't get a Toy Island Shadow or Rouge in this style. Each figure came with some rings and 2 Chaos Emeralds, along with some additional accessories. Now, the elephant in the room is that all of these figures look like shit. Sonic has eyes drifting apart farther than your parents, Tails looks like he's a fat ass, he eats very well at home, Knuckles looks like he's on the toilet, Eggman looks like he's gonna diddle me, and Big is the only figure I would actually call good. They also made these small bendy figures, so Tails is still ugly. Toy Island didn't make any more figures for 4 years, but with the release of Sonic X, they finally put out some new merch, which were just their ugly figures with less accessories. They did this another time before finally making a unique set of Sonic figures based off of the show. This wave is notable because, well, they actually look kinda good, and the character selection actually isn't bad. We got a new sculpted Sonic, our first ever Shadow figure, our only figures of Rouge and Cream for over 10 years, and the only figure of the Antichrist. They then gave us a Megabot Build-A-Figure wave with their first and only attempt at Amy, a stupid-ass space wave, and a weird Metal Force wave. What were they even doing? Now, Toy Island will lose the Sonic license in 2006, but they went out with the first ever Superposer figures, which were 6 inches tall and had a bunch of points of articulation. They also made this statue based off of 06, so cool, I guess. After Toy Island lost the license, Sega gave the Master Toy Partner privilege to Jazzwares is what many consider to be the best Sonic toy line, and while for a while it was, another toy company that starts with a J has for sure dethroned them for a while. Jazzwares started off with releasing Toy Island's first wave of figures, which is obviously the worst way a Sonic toy line has ever started. They only did Sonic, Tails, and Knuckles, aka the worst ones out of the wave, and they didn't even have accessories unlike the original release. They also released the Superposers along with super variants of Sonic and Shadow, which were so lazy because all they did was repaint the original sculpts. It's okay to do it with Shadow since he has spikes that stay the same when he goes super, but Sonic's quills spike up when he's super, and this figure just has his regular old quills. They did end up fixing this, which was the right move, but there's no denying how lazy this was for their first wave of Sonic figures. Now, Jazzwares came in swinging with their next wave, introducing the 3.5-inch figures. The first wave was Sonic, Tails, and then also to complete the team, Sonic again but with Caliber. Jokes aside, Knuckles did end up appearing in a comic book cut with everybody's favorite Sonic character, Clear Blue Sonic. Their single releases continue to be great with Shadow, Amy, the Hedgehog, Silver, and Metal Sonic, who ended up being thrown in a pack with Eggman later on. Yes, Rouge and Cream were missing from this lineup, but hey, we got the Hedgehog, so a win is a win. They loved doing comic book packs in this scale, which are basically just 2 figures and an Archie comic packed into one, and this was where a lot of characters were introduced. Now, in 2011, they had the most insane rollout out of any Sonic toy line, the 20th anniversary line. We got so much in this year. Classic Sonic, Classic Tails, a bunch of different enemies, Classic Eggman, 10x variants of both Sonics, Classic Amy, and Classic Supersonic. Now, unfortunately, after this banger year, Jazzwares' figures started to get really brittle for some reason, and a lot of character choices just weren't hitting the same. Take this Classic Multi-Pack for example, which was literally the only way to obtain Classic Metal Sonic. And the figures straight buns anyway. Their last products were 5-inch figures based off of Sonic and the Black Knight, and the license went over to Tomy had the unfortunate displeasure of making figures for Sonic Boom, and if you were around this time, you would know that they were forced to make figures exclusively based off of it for 2 years straight. 2 years without mainline Sonic figures. It's alright though, because they made fan favorites from the show, like Sonic, Sonic Running, Sonic with Sunglasses, and who could forget Sonic but Angry. Oh, just aside, they did actually make all of the important characters from Boom. Too bad there weren't many. Tails, Knuckles, Amy, Eggman, Styx, Shadow, and Metal Sonic all got figures, which were fine but limited in articulation. Now, in 2016, Tomy were finally free from the Sonic Boom curse, and were able to make action figures based off of the classic games for Sonic's 25th anniversary. We got Classic Sonic, Classic Tails, Classic Knuckles, Classic Sonic, Classic Tails, Classic Knuckles, Classic Sonic. Yeah, so even this line was pretty limited. But in 2017, they actually started cooking, finally being able to deliver modern figures. We got comic book packs with modern Sonic and Knuckles with their classic variants, and even if I'm tired of these sculpts, at least they were finally modern figures coming to the line. 2018 was undoubtedly their best year, finally giving us characters that weren't Sonic, Tails, and Knuckles for the 17th time. It's just too bad this was their final year. We got a comic book pack with classic Metal Sonic and regular Metal Sonic, along with modern Tails, and if I see this one more time, I'm going to end it up! The modern Tails was extremely controversial at the time, for good reason too. It looked like he was wearing a diaper, but the metal figures were actually pretty solid. They also gave us modern Sonic, Tails, and Knuckles with Chow, and I actually got this set for one of my birthdays while it was still available. I used to love these figures so damn much. There was also a 3-pack with Sonic Infinite and Zavik, which to this day remains the only iteration of Zavik in plastic form, so it's actually pretty special for that. Tomy announced classic and modern variants of Amy and Eggman, along with Supersonic, Shadow, and Silver, but those figures never saw the light of day, as Sega gave the license to their current toy partner. Jax had probably the weirdest start over any toy line besides Toy Island, opting for bendy figures instead of articulated figures. They made Sonic, Tails, Knuckles, and Shadow in the first wave, as well as Sonic again, Supersonic, Shadow, and Eggman in the second. They made one more wave, which were just the Wave 1 cast in sports getup.
Tails Soccer, Sonic Skateboard, Rogue and Amy Tennis, Cream Puff Flower Catch, Shadow Basketball, Knuckles Baseball.
In 2020, Jax finally delivered 2 lines of articulated figures in a 4-inch and 2.5-inch scale. And it's not an exaggeration to say that the 4-inch figures is the best Sonic toy line of all time. Not only are the sculpts great and their articulation really good, but the variety in characters is actually insane. Of course, Sonic, Tails, Shadow, Eggman, Amy, Big, and Metal Sonic all got made. They get made by everyone. But Rouge, Cream, Vector, Espio, Charmy, Jet, Infinite, and Blaze got their second figures, and Omega, Chaos, Mephiles, and Tangle got their first figures. The 2.5-inch figures are cool too, but the main draw are the classic characters. They made all the classic characters you would expect, including the first figures of Mighty and Ray, and they also made Fang and Trip recently, which look absolutely awesome. They've also made figures for Prime, the DC crossover, and all 3 of the movies, and as someone who owns all the movie 3 merch they made, those figures are genuinely really stellar. As for the future, I really hope we get characters like Zavik, Gamma, Tikal, Whisper, and Dr. Starline. And now you're all caught up on the weird world of Sonic's action figures. Whether you prefer the wonky look of the Resource figures, the articulation of the Jazzwares figures, the scale of the Tomy figures, or the variety of the Jax figures, we can all agree that Toy Island Tales needs to go on a diet. Eggman shouldn't come back in Sonic the Hedgehog 4. Here's why. Jim Carrey's portrayal of Dr. Ivy Robotnik is easily the best part of the Sonic films, and it's always a treat to see him come back. I remember when we all didn't think he was going to return for the cinematic masterpiece that was Sonic the Hedgehog 3, and how hyped the internet was when it was announced that he would. Now, if you've never seen the Sonic films, in both of them, he quote-unquote dies. In Sonic 2, he falls in an explosion from the Death Egg robot, and in Sonic 3, he sacrifices himself to save Sonic, Tails, and Knuckles. Right now, it isn't confirmed that this is the end of his character, but judging off of this concept art, it most likely isn't. And honestly, I'm pretty sad about that.
Oh, brother, this guy stinks!
Put your pitchforks down, let me explain. Don't get me wrong at all. I love Jim's portrayal of the character, and he's one of my favorite actors of all time. But I really don't want him to come back if I'm being honest. I want to see these movies have a new antagonist. Let Neo Metal Sonic be the antagonist of Sonic 4. Let Iblis be the antagonist of Sonic 5. Make Infinite the antagonist of Sonic 6. I also feel like his sacrifice in this film was very impactful and was a perfect way to end his character. Whether Sonic 4 includes Eggman or not, I'm still going to be there day one, as Sonic is my favorite franchise of all time, and Sonic 3 is my favorite movie of all time. But I really hope that if Eggman does indeed return, this is his last hurrah. Who are my top 5 favorite Sonic characters? If you're new to the channel, Sonic is my favorite franchise of all time, and having done ranking videos for superheroes in the past, I figured why not rank my top 5 favorite Sonic characters. At number 5, I have one of the most underrated Sonic characters, Silver the Hedgehog. Silver is the only character on this list I did a 1-minute origin on, and for good reason too. Despite being naive and believing that Sonic destroyed the future at first, he is genuinely a badass and his telekinetic powers are super cool, which is why I have him ranked at number 5. At number 4, I have Sonic's best friend since 1992, Miles Tails Prower. Despite being less than stellar in the 2010s era,
Whoa! Chaos! Sonic, help me!
Tails has always had an interesting arc that carries him to the number 4 spot. He starts off being Sonic's little buddy who idolizes the Hedgehog to being his own person and believing in himself. At number 3, I have the titular character, Sonic the Hedgehog. Sonic as a character genuinely means so much to me. I've been obsessed with his character for over a decade of my life, and his cocky attitude and determined persona easily puts him at the number 3 spot. At number 2, I have Knuckles.
Unlike Sonic, I don't chuckle. I'd rather flex my muscles.
For a really long time, Knuckles was my favorite Sonic character. I genuinely care so much about this character, and despite his sad character assassination making him a complete dumbass in the 2010s, what came before that and even nowadays is what makes me put him at the number 2 spot. And at number 1, I have my favorite fictional character of all time, Shadow the Hedgehog. Do I even need to explain this? I mean, look at him. Not only is he cool, he has possibly the best backstory out of any other Sonic character. I am genuinely obsessed with this character. I literally have him right next to my TV. Sonic the Hedgehog is my favorite franchise of all time, and Sonic 3 is my favorite movie of all time. Since the first one released, I've been in the theater opening weekend for all 3, and I've been waiting for updates on the 4th film. Getting all that intro out of the way, I know what you came for. You came for the leaks, and Daniel RPK, a very reliable scooper, has delivered. This video is mainly just rounding up all the information we have, so let's begin.
I'll make it through, oh yeah.
The first update that broke a couple weeks ago is that Paramount might be considering changing the title of this film to Sonic CD. Something I honestly doubt and think it's really stupid. If you didn't see Sonic 3 or was just living under a rock this whole time, spoilers, but Amy and Metal Sonic showed up in the post-credit scene. obviously leading to a Sonic CD adaptation. Now I think naming the film Sonic CD is extremely dumb for marketing, it just makes no sense. Yes, these Sonic movies are for fans, and this is the fourth one. You're supposed to know at least a little as a general audience member going in. However, the past three films have all kept it simple and had way better titles for marketing. Imagine if Sonic 3 was named Sonic Adventure 2. That would obviously confuse general audience members who are probably just taking their kids to see it. If you just name it Sonic 4, way more butts and seats. If this is true, it's probably something a dumb Paramount employee threw around before going on with their day. Moving on with our second point, this film will deal with time travel and a dark future. I mean, duh. That was obviously a given. That's literally the plot of Sonic CD. I think it'll be really cool to see Team Sonic go through different points in time and try to save their world from most likely Jim Carrey back again as Robotnik. And I just feel like a dark future is a really cool setting for this film. Now, when the future is brought up in the Sonic community, fans automatically assume Silver will be involved. For good reason too, that's literally his backstory. But apparently he won't be involved, which makes me happy if I'm being honest. Do not get me wrong, I absolutely love Silver. He's my fifth favorite Sonic character. But let's just break down everyone involved in this movie. Of course, Sonic's gonna be there, Amy will be introduced, and from a marketing perspective, has to have a big role to bring more female audiences. Tails and Knuckles will of course have a part. Eggman will most likely come back. Metal Sonic will probably be the main villain. And Shadow has like a 90% chance of coming back. He is the second most popular Sonic character. Factoring in Tom and Maddie too, this movie is overstuffed as is, and I'm so happy Silver won't be here. Now with the next point, this film is gonna have a bigger budget, and honestly I'm really surprised. The Sonic movies are successful. If they weren't, there wouldn't be 4. But none of them have gotten to 500 million yet. Yes, the franchise together makes $1 billion, but the last one got to 492 million, which really shocked me as I thought it was gonna make around 530 million to 600. The budget pretty much has to be bigger now that I think about it. If Shadow comes back, there will be 6 CGI characters to animate. Plus, I doubt Jim Carrey will be cheap. I mean, he's supposed to be retired. But I really hope this movie makes at least 520 million to show Paramount that we care and will keep showing up because I genuinely need more Sonic movies. Rouge, Silver, Blaze, The Chaotix, Cream, Big. We all haven't seen them yet and I really want them to show up. The final piece of information from Daniel RPK is that this film will be a romantic comedy. And a part of me isn't surprised, but another is. If you're a really hardcore Sonic fan, you will know how much Sega is against romance because of the whole Archie situation, which I will not be tackling in this video. But if I'm being honest, I think this is the way to go. The comedy part gets me a little scared. I don't want them to lean too heavy into the jokes unless Jim Carrey is doing them because he's constantly the funniest part of these films. But the romance angle makes a lot of sense. I feel like for the past 3 years, Sega has been hinting a little more about Amy and Sonic's relationship, and it's being made a little more clear that Sonic isn't completely against dating Amy. So I'm interested to see how heavy they're gonna lean into this. My only wish is that Amy's character isn't strong female character who needs no man, because that's been the only character trait for a while now in a lot of female films targeted towards kids. I also don't want her to be obsessed as Sonic as she used to be. If you're a Sonic fan, you would know that in the 2000s, Amy was too extreme with her crush on Sonic.
Gotcha, my darling Sonic.
Amy, what are you doing here?
Sonic, this time there's no way out of marrying me.
Give her Amy's modern character traits. Make her caring, make her energetic, have a little feist in her. Just handle Amy well. And that's all for the video. I know this was a short one, but there's not a lot of news to cover right now, and my eyes are shifted more towards Mario 2 since it's coming out sooner. I really hope that this movie even surpasses Sonic 3 and becomes my new favorite film because I dedicated so much of my life to these characters, and to finally see Amy and Metal Sonic introduced, I really can't wait. If you want to keep up with the different updates or predictions for Sonic 4, I would love if you subscribe and check out some of my other videos. It would help a ton and get me to 200 subs by the end of the year. Oh my god, oh my god, oh my god, oh my god, oh my god. I just posted a video on Monday, but after I found out Kristen Bell was going to voice Amy in Sonic 4, I immediately began writing this video. Let's get to the intro already.
Open your heart and you will say.
So yeah, I was not expecting to get this news this morning. Apologize if this is going to be a short video. But all of us need to lock in now because Sonic the Hedgehog 4 is almost a full year away. And the updates are just going to keep on coming. So yeah, it has been officially revealed by The Hollywood Reporter, one of the most official movie websites, that Kristen Bell is voicing Amy in Sonic 4. And honestly, I think it's pretty good casting. always wanted Anna Kendrick, but I've seen Kristen Bell in a couple things, and I think she'll be a great Amy. I just want to acknowledge how peak the casting for these films have been. Ben Schwartz is Sonic. He's the perfect voice for him. Colin O'Shaughnessy literally plays Tails in the games. Idris Elba gave Knuckles such an intimidating voice, and Keanu Reeves was the only right choice for Shadow. Now, there is actually some things in this article that I want to talk about because they have an interesting use of language here, so let's go read it. Okay, so I have the article right here. Sonic 4, Kristen Bell to voice Amy exclusive. Jeff Fowler is back as director in Paramount's hit franchise based on the Sega video games. This is great. I do not know if it was confirmed before, but Jeff Fowler, he's coming back. I assume most of the creative team is coming back. We're in for another banger. Each movie has just been better than the last, so I'm super excited for this. Paramount Pictures' Sonic the Hedgehog franchise has found the voice actor for its Amy Rose. Kristen Bell has closed a deal to voice the character in Sonic the Hedgehog 4. The franchise keeps adding bold face names to the voice cast with each entry. Now here's the next thing that I want to talk about. This right here. So it lists off all the voice actors, Ben Schwartz, Idris Elba, no Colin O'Shaughnessy, but Keanu Reeves, who voices Shadow as of Sonic 3. Now, I'm not saying this is confirmation that Shadow is coming back, but come on. As of, we heard that they were working on a Shadow spinoff. It could be the event film that's planned, but I really, and I mean really hope that Shadow is in this one. Now, this next thing I want to talk about, they start listing the human voice actors. The live action actors in the franchise are Jim Carrey as the villainous Dr. Robotnik, Liam Doob as Agent Stone, his loyal assistant. Eggman and Agent Stone are coming back. Quote me on this. We heard a while back that Jim Carrey was in talks to star. I mean, yes, they don't confirm it. They say most are expected to return. But, I mean, come on. Jim Carrey makes these movies. He makes these movies funny. I love his films, but if we lose him, they're not going to be as funny. I know that. And also, Agent Stone has just become a fan favorite at this point. I think he's the best new character introduced for the movies. Now, I also want to talk about Amy's role in the film because it says, in the games, Rose is a pink hedgehog and Sonic's would-be girlfriend, whether he knows it or not. We heard a while back it's going to be a romantic comedy. I'm just saying. So yeah, that's all I wanted to talk about today. I know it's a short video, but Kristen Bell is voicing Amy, and the marketing for this movie is going to start ramping up. Now, this film comes out March 19th, 2027, next year, the day before my birthday. So if I had to guess where we could get the first trailer, Sonic's 4 trailer released in August and released in December, so I'm thinking we'll get this trailer either at the Game Awards or around October and November. And that's it. If you watched to the end, I really appreciate it. It shows that you all care about my content, and it would mean a lot to me if you subscribed. So, as you can see, my shelves are a little bit of a mess at this moment, specifically my Lego Sonic and my Marvel, and I just woke up, so my voice is, really raspy. But anyway, I'm CJ, I talk, and I'll see you soon.
चलो चले मैकडॉनल्ड से Sega Games line.